UFC 281, who's next for Alex Pereira, Israel Adesanya, Zhang Weili, Dustin Poirier and more. Alex Pereira defeated Israel Adesanya by 5th round TKO in the main event of UFC 281 to become the new middleweight champion Saturday night at New York's Madison Square Garden. Adesanya hurt Pereira at the end of round 1 and then dominated the ground game in the third before Pereira took over in the final round, forcing referee Mark Goddard to stop the fight after landing a flurry of punches on Adesanya. So, now what? Is a rematch in play? What other options does Pereira have? In the co-main event, Zhang Weili regained the women's strawweight title with a second-round submission of Carla Esparza. Is it fair to ask for a trilogy fight against Rose Namajunas next? Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler put on a fight to remember, with Poirier stopping Chandler in round 3 with a rear-naked choke of their bloody lightweight bout. Should a title fight be next for Poirier? How about Chandler? Where does he go from here? Earlier on the card, Chris Gutierrez sent Frankie Edgar to retirement with a first-round TKO victory and made a case for himself to face a big name in the bantamweight rankings. Dan Hooker was only 1-4 entering the fight, but his second-round TKO victory over Claudio Puelles put him back into the conversation for a bigger fight early next year. Same for flyweight Aaron Blanchfield after dominating Molly McCann. A fight against Macy Barber could be a must-see if they fight next. Brett Okamoto shares his thoughts on what fights could be ahead in 2023 for some of the stars at UFC 281. Alex Pereira, middleweight champion, defeated Israel Adesanya by 5th round TKO to win the title. Who should be next? Rematch. I'm calling it the second fight between these two, not the fourth. They fought in kickboxing, a different sport, and they were just two totally different versions of themselves. They've both matured so much from those fights. In terms of their rivalry, this was the best chapter and the most complete versions of themselves. They have to run it back. Adesanya had essentially cleaned out the division before this, and he's deserving of an immediate rematch. Seems obvious. If Whittaker beats Paulo Costa at UFC 284 on February 11th, I could see the shot going to him. I'd have to see what Adesanya wants to do when he wants to fight next. And what the UFC wants to do. I'd include Costa in this looking ahead, but he's made it pretty clear he's leaving the UFC, win or lose, after Whittaker. If he wants to rethink that, he'd be in this mix. I'm sure though Whittaker watched some of the wrestling exchanges of this fight and was licking his lips. Zhang Weili, women's strawweight champion, defeated Carla Esparza by second-round submission to win the title. It feels like we're recycling the same title fights in this division, but the circumstances have called for it. And for the most part, the fights have been incredibly well matched. This has been an entertaining division in recent years. It doesn't feel right to ask Zhang to go straight into a title defense against a woman she has fought twice, and lost to twice, in the last 1.5 years, but if we're stating facts, it's the correct fight to make. Namajunas lost the title to Esparza in a bizarre fight that could have gone either way. Namajunas Zhang too was close, so a trilogy bout makes sense for just about every reason you can think of. If the UFC, or Zhang, really wants to do something different, Lemos is a strong option. She has one-punch knockout power and is coming off a win in a UFC Fight Night main event against Marina Rodriguez, an opponent who had built up a lot of momentum before the fight. Dustin Poirier, lightweight, defeated Michael Chandler by third-round submission. This felt obvious coming into the week for me that if Poirier won, his next move would be a title shot. Why wouldn't it be? He was the number 2 ranked contender in the division coming into this matchup, behind only Charles Oliveira, who just lost to Makhachev. He's still a name, less than a calendar year removed from beating Conor McGregor twice. And this performance against Chandler will only raise his stock. Poirier deserves the opportunity and matches up fine with either option. It gets tricky if Volkanovski wins, because Volkanovski would likely go back down to 145 pounds to defend his featherweight title, but Makhachev vs Poirier is a fine title fight. The UFC has been looking at Fiziev vs Justin Gaethje, but if that doesn't come together, Fiziev vs Poirier is a terrific fight. On its surface, it's hard to see why Poirier would take this fight. It's essentially all risk. But Poirier is a madman who likes to fight frequently. He doesn't like extended time off. If he's down for it, it's a good one. Michael Chandler, lightweight, lost to Dustin Poirier by third-round submission. Who should be next? Conor McGregor. How many times have we brought this up? Chandler has fought in the UFC 5 times, and we've said it all 5 times. Chandler is on a short list for the most entertaining fighters in MMA. He is all gas from the first bell. He knows how to build a fight. Chandler vs McGregor, it's a perfect fight. Exactly when McGregor will ever fight again, if ever, we'll never know. But once again, Chandler is coming off a situation where he'll probably need some time off after taking damage on Saturday. There's no Nate Diaz in the UFC, at least at the moment, for McGregor to come back to. McGregor vs Chandler sells, but again, we've said that before. Chandler needs some pieces to reset before we know what's next for him. Unfortunately, that's sometimes the case when you're a big name, but not stringing together enough wins. If he does want to come back, he might have to fight down the rankings. A rising contender in need of a higher-ranked fight.